Okay, so grab my notebook because I don't remember where I left off. You know, I just like finished 2 seconds ago. So I read, and then we went to bed at like 9:30 because we decided to get up early the next day. And what is this? And so yeah, went to bed early. I of course passed out because I was exhausted from such a long day. And yeah, and then got up at like 7:45 and got ready and all that jazz, and then walked to the bus stop and waited for like a half hour. The woman at the store that we bought the tickets from, like, oh yeah, they come around every 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah, no, she is a liar. Like, most of the time we waited like 45 to an hour. It was ridiculous. Such a waste. I was so upset with her for lying to us, but whatever. I'm sorry. I got up and I readjusted my computer, and now I don't know what. There. Okay, that's good. So yeah, walked to the bus stop, took the double-decker bus around. We stopped at the fish market, which probably doesn't sound that exciting, but I'm super excited because I've never been to one before, and I wanted to see what it was like, and it was great. It was so exciting. We just like walked around, and I was like, oh my gosh, look, a fish head! Ah! I was like freaking out, and they had like actual crabs and like shrimp with their eyes still, and like, oh, it was so funny. It made me laugh so much. We just kind of walked around, and yeah, probably looked silly taking pictures, but that's okay. It happens. And then, and like the part of the town that we stopped at, where the fish market was, it almost seemed kind of like older and like smaller. I don't know how to explain what it looked like, but it was like really small little shops and really quiet and laid back, and it was like small town feel, which I absolutely love. Like I love that stuff. Like I felt like I could just walk up and down the street and go antique shopping or like window shopping, and it was so comforting and made me so happy because I hate big cities. So I was like, this is so great. Yeah, and then we walked back to the bus stop and took the bus around to a place called The Rocks, which is like I think the oldest part. I don't know. I've got a description of each part of the place that I went to in our maps. I'll look it up real fast. The Rocks is Old Sydney. Yeah, it's the old part of Sydney. Yeah, so we went there. And that's like right by where the Sydney Bridge is and the Opera House. So we walked to the water part, like close to the water, and looked at the Sydney Bridge and took pictures. And then it's like Sydney Bridge, and a little bit over here is the Opera House. So we were like in the perfect spot because we'd be like, turn over here, bridge over there, Opera House, and take pictures. Yeah, so we did that, and Ada had a little picnic right there, and took lots of pictures, of course. And then we walked around. Walked around like the pier all the way over around the bay over to the Opera House, and walked around that a little bit, took pictures, and then there's a botanical garden right by. You know what? Let's look at the picture because it's a map. It's really hard to see, but so the rocks are. Excuse me, let me figure it out. Is like that little purple area. And the bridge is right here. So it's like the rocks, bridge, Opera House is right there. So we like walked, got off here-ish, and went and hung out like here-ish, and then walked all the way around like this, and all the way around up into here. Saw this, the Sydney Opera House, and then there's this giant green area is the botanical gardens. And our hostel, by the way, hostel's right there. So we literally were like in the middle of everything. It's like all the cool stuff is like circled around our hostel. It was fantastic. So yeah, what we did was we walked along the botanical gardens a little bit to a bus stop. We took that bus to Bondi Beach, which is not on this map, but it's on this map. It's really hard to see what I'm doing. It's oh geez. Is that even right side up? Yeah. Bondi Beach is right there. So we like took a bus from here-ish, whatever, all the way over here to the beach. And it was really windy, really cold, and the waves were like I took a video and pictures of it, but it was insane. And so we obviously didn't swim, we just sat on the beach and had a picnic. It was adorable. But it was really nice. And then they had like a little walk around like the cliffs along the beach and the water. So we walked along that all the way to the next beach, next over, a little small one, and then we walked back. And I got ice cream, and she got calamari rings. And then, you know, we just sat there and ate and used Wi-Fi. And then we took the bus back. Oh, I just looked at my notes, and I totally forgot about this. But while we were at the beach, some guy in a wetsuit was like running towards the water with 2 lifeguards following in like a gator thing with a jet ski on the back. And on the connected to the jet ski was a stretcher, and then they put it in the water, and like one of the lifeguards jumped on, and then the guy in the whatever suit I just said, wetsuit, jumped on back, on the back of it with him, and they took off through the waves like crazy insane, and went to the cliffs. And there are people standing on the cliffs looking into the water. So I was like, oh my gosh, someone fell off the cliff and into the water. Someone might have died, or a shark attack, or someone like was surfing and it got out of control and they like got bashed against the cliff or something. And like, oh my gosh, so many bad things were running through our minds. And so like us and a older couple that was sitting next to us were just like sitting like on the beach like freaking out, waiting for the jet ski to finally come back. It did, and there's no one on the stretcher, and the guy in the the wetsuit jumped off and like swam to shore and pulled the gator back so that they could take the jet ski out. And they're just like la la la, laughing, joking. And I was like, did you just go on like a random ride for no reason? Because you just scared the crap out of me and Alana and the 2 random people, and like I'm sure other people on the beach were freaking out the entire time. Oh my goodness, I was not happy. I was like, nah, someone could have been hurt. And they weren't, thank goodness, but still, that was not okay. So, whatever, but that, yeah, anyway. So then we waited for the bus, which took forever to come, and then we walked from the bus stop at Central Station because they decided that they didn't want to drive us all the way around to the stop we wanted. They were like, no, get off now at Central Station. So we did. We had to walk back, which isn't a long walk, but in the dark, it was like our first time walking from Central Station ever, and it was in the dark, and everything looked different, so it was like an adventure, but we got back fine. And then we got back to the hostel, and I read for a bit, like an hour, and then I took a nap for 2 hours. So we got back about 6:15. I took a nap from 7:30 to 9:30. We ate dinner for some reason. I think we were gonna go out that night, but no one else was going out from the hostel, and they had like a bus going out on Tuesday night, and we were gonna get a free drink if we went on the bus. So we're like, we'll just wait and go out tomorrow. So I just read some more and went to bed at like 11. Yeah, so that's crazy kid reading my book, going to bed early. Oh no. Oh, sorry, I got a text message. Tuesday, up at 8, and we went to, there's a cathedral right by our St. Mary's Cathedral, I think is what it's called. It's on my map, so look. Yeah, St. Mary's Cathedral. It's the little yellow, like, here's us. Here it is right there. And we'd gone on the first day. We'd walk past it, and Alana took a few pictures, but I wanted to actually go inside and take more pictures because my camera the batteries had died, and I just got new batteries. And so we went back, and we were there from about 9 to 9:30, and oh my goodness, it was one of my favorite things. Like, Opera House, awesome, cool, legendary, yeah, awesome, whatever. But holy crap, the cathedral was like Oh, it's so gorgeous. And there's a band like of high school age kids there, and they were gonna play. And I was just like, this is awesome. Like, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful and so full of history. And it's just, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, I can't even get over it. Like, oh, one of my favorite spots. And I took a lot of self portraits of myself. Like stood and I was like, ah, cathedral in the background. You can't even see it because my head was blocking it, but it was still so cool. Anyway. And then after that, we went to the Australian Museum, which was also right by there. It was, okay. So there's the cathedral, and the museum was like that little yellow spot right there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's where that is. And so we went there, and that was probably my second favorite because it had animals and it had history and dying on the Aboriginal people, and so it was just like full of like information. I'm just like, oh, I just want to stay here all day. It's so cool. But I don't think Alana was having as much fun as I was, so I was like, okay, we'll try to go fast. And we left about 11. Yeah. Then we took a bus to Darling Harbour to use the internet for Alana because she wanted to get like into contact with her parents and her advisor, which was fine. We just kind of hung out for a little while, and then we walked to Paddy's Market, but it was closed, so we decided to do it the next morning because they were going to be open Wednesday from 9 to 5. So that's just what we were going to do on Wednesday morning. And then we took a bus to Woolloomooloo, I don't know, Woolloomooloo Bay or something. That's where we were. That's where our hostel was. It was in Woolloomooloo, which is like this whole like area right here, and then the bay is like right here. So, and there was a legendary pie place, like meat pie place there. So we went there, took the bus there, and then ate pies, and then walked back to our hostel. I took a half-hour nap because I was exhausted, of course. And then we walked through the Botanical Gardens a little bit, up to Sydney Opera House, took more pictures and stuff like that. And the Botanical Gardens is probably like my third favorite because it's really pretty and just I love trees and I love plants, and there's water right there on the side, and it was just great. And it was like dark, so it was like the sun was going down. It's just so peaceful. Oh my goodness, it was so beautiful. And then so yeah, we went there, and then we walked to the rocks, and we went to the oldest pub in Sydney, I think it was. It says on my map, so I'll look it up. Maybe it doesn't say on this one. It might say somewhere else. Okay. It doesn't say on here, but it was like supposedly one of the oldest pubs, I'm guessing, in Sydney. But we went there and we shared fish and chips, and then we had a glass of Tules, I don't know what it's called, but it's the old version of it, not the new version of it, and it was like kind of like a heavy beer with like a hint of coffee and chocolate. It's like a dark beer, kind of like Guinness, and it was so good. Oh my goodness, loved it. It was delicious. All this talking is making me want to die, and I'm gonna have to do another video because there's so much to talk about. Okay. Then we walked back to Sydney Opera House for another light show, and like there's a light show from like the Sydney Opera House all the way through this entire area, just like a different light show stuff. So it was like the lighthouse, or the opera house was lit up, the bridge was lit up, the other random buildings along the harbor were lit up, and then there's like little like shows, like people were playing music instruments, and one guy like did like different stuff, like he juggled chainsaws and got on top of a bike on top of a pole and like juggled more stuff, and it was cool. So I did that. He was hilarious, but yeah. Then I walked down Query Street, which had like a bunch of old buildings. Yeah. And then I took a nap at the hostel again. I nap a lot apparently. And showered and then changed really fast, and then went outside to catch the bus and met a few people from our hostel, which was the first time I actually did that. and we took the bus to King's Cross, which I will talk about in the next video.